Story begins in the year 2067, where Earth is facing a slew of problems. Diseases have devastated most of our crops, there are widespread droughts and dust storms forcing everyone to wear masks, and it's all culminated in a global ecological and food crisis, pushing humanity to the brink of extinction. Enter Cooper, a former NASA pilot and engineer who's now a widower, living on a farm with his father-in-law Donald, along with his son Tom and daughter Murphy. Murphy insists there's a friendly ghost in her room, knocking books to the floor as if trying to send her a message. One day, Cooper witnesses dust from a storm forming binary code on Murphy's bedroom floor. Realizing it's a message, he and Murphy decode it to reveal coordinates, which they then decide to investigate. They arrive at a fenced-off area guarded by security, leading them to a secret government bunker. Cooper is interrogated by a former military robot, TARS, before meeting Dr. Amelia. She takes him to a conference room where he's surprised to see his former NASA boss, Professor Brand, among other officials. It turns out Amelia is Brand's daughter. Cooper candidly shares how he uncovered the coordinates of this secret location. The old scientist then explains the plan to save humanity. Instead of trying to revive a dying Earth, they must find another habitable planet. Suddenly, Brand suggests Cooper lead the mission to find a new home for our civilization, as he has real flight experience, unlike the rest of the team who have only trained on simulators. Moreover, it's as if fate itself brought him here. During the briefing, it is revealed that the plan involves flying to another galaxy through a wormhole that inexplicably appeared near Saturn. Spacecraft with researchers were sent there as well, but only robot probes returned. It turns out that within reach of a modern spacecraft in the wormhole, there are 12 planets, 3 of which are potentially suitable for colonization. Interestingly, they are named after astronauts who flew there on reconnaissance. Murphy cries, she doesn't want her father to leave. However, Cooper is determined to give everyone a chance at salvation. He gives her his wristwatch and promises to return, no matter the obstacles. The spacecraft, with a crew of 4, Commander Cooper, Professor Brand's daughter Amelia, scientists Romilly and Doyle, and the former military robot TARS, successfully reaches orbit and then heads towards Saturn. 22 months later, the researchers emerge from hibernation and manually navigate through the wormhole, which externally resembles a 1,000-kilometer spherical lens, revealing stars from an unfamiliar galaxy. The astronauts land on the first planet, Miller, but it's uninhabitable, completely covered in water with gigantic gravitational waves of tsunamis over a kilometer high. Due to its proximity to a black hole within this star system, time is distorted here. Each hour spent on Miller equates to 7 Earth years. Amelia retrieves an old reconnaissance probe containing vital data about the planet. However, their colleague Doyle drowns. Adding to their troubles, water floods the shuttle's engines, causing the heroes to lose several, quite literally precious, hours here. Upon returning to the main ship, they witness their colleague Rommel aged, as 23 years have passed for him. Cooper sifts through all the messages received during this lengthy period. His son Thomas has grown up and started a family. Father-in-law Donald has passed away, and daughter Murph has become a physicist, now working under Professor Brenda to solve the gravitational problem. They need to resolve it to create massive ships for the resettlement of all humanity. Because the hero's ship wasn't intended for extended orbit, its fuel reserves are only sufficient for a visit to one of 2 destinations. The astronauts land on the mountainous planet Man, mostly covered in ice. They discover the living quarters of a researcher, awaken him from hibernation, and the scientist bursts into tears of joy. Dr. Mann explains that some lowlands lack ice, possess a breathable atmosphere, and possibly harbor life. Meanwhile, Rommel proposes that to tackle the gravity problem and save humanity, they must explore the black hole. He suggests equipping the robot TARS to venture beyond the event horizon to record data within the space anomaly. Meanwhile, the researchers settle in, believing their mission to find a new Earth is complete. Later, Cooper and Mann venture out to explore the nearest habitable lowland, aiming to select a site for the first planetary base. However, it turns out the researcher fabricated his report data just to ensure his own rescue. In reality, this world is nothing but a frozen chunk of rock. Mann removes the transmitter antenna from Cooper's helmet, then attempts to push him off a cliff. During their altercation, Mann shatters his opponent's helmet glass, leaving the hero struggling for breath amidst poisonous ammonia on a desolate rock. Despite the ordeal, Cooper manages to locate the transmitter and urgently summons Amelia for assistance. Upon her arrival, she rescues him from the perilous situation. Catching his breath, Cooper reveals Mann's treacherous nature. Meanwhile, their colleague Romilly, while dismantling the allegedly malfunctioning traitorous robot for spare parts, tragically perishes due to explosives planted within it. Man boards the shuttle and endeavors to breach the main ship in orbit. However, the robot TARS obstructs automatic docking, prompting Man to forcibly open a non-airtight docking hatch, triggering an explosion that claims his life and inflicts substantial damage to the ship. Cooper, a skilled pilot, maneuvers the falling spacecraft, synchronizing its rotation with his own, thus averting disaster. Yet, a new unforeseen challenge arises. The ship succumbs to the gravitational pull of a black hole, hurtling toward the event horizon, a realm where familiar physical laws and gravity cease to hold sway, according to scientists' conjecture. In a daring move, Cooper elects to launch the landing module alongside the robot TARS into the black hole, with the crucial objective of gathering quantum data vital for humanity's survival. Moreover, detaching the landing module simultaneously will impart reverse acceleration to the main ship. This will allow them to escape the gravitational trap and reach the third planet. This is Edmund. The cunning maneuver comes with its cruel price. While it's being executed, 51 more years will pass on Earth. The hero understands that nobody awaits him at home anymore, as around 80 years have passed there. Moreover, resources on the ship are running dangerously low. Despite Amelia's tears and pleas, he flies into the black hole on a second small craft. Losing control, Cooper's shuttle succumbs to the destructive forces of particles unknown to humanity, igniting and practically disintegrating into pieces, after which the brave astronaut ejects himself into the unknown void. Suddenly, the space around transforms into a hypercube, consisting of innumerable corridors. Cooper finds himself in a strange space permeated with ephemeral strings, as if behind the shelf in his daughter Murph's room. He sees her in childhood as she once was. Moving further, he enters another moment of her life, when she bid farewell to her father before departure. Unexpectedly, the robot TARS establishes contact with him, stating that everything around is three-dimensional space, intentionally created by some higher beings who simultaneously inhabit 5 dimensions. For them, time and gravity are just like our familiar length, width, and height. Cooper surmises that through these gravitational strings, he can communicate with his daughter. He encodes the clock hands using Morse code, transmitting vital data necessary for humanity's full exploration of space. Simultaneously, Cooper's grown daughter notices a suddenly animated hand on the clock, prompting her to decipher the Morse code message. Just before losing consciousness, the man reveals the primary secret of higher beings. In reality, they are humans from a distant future, who have grasped the 5-dimensional nature of space and have mastered life within it. Suddenly, the hero regains consciousness in a hospital room. The doctor reveals that the astronaut is 124 years old according to Earth's standards. He was discovered in space, orbiting Saturn, aboard a massive space settlement named Cooper, in honor of his brilliant daughter. However, the most significant news is that Murphy is still alive, albeit very weak. Cooper rushes to her side. The joyous elderly woman admits she long ago realized that the benevolent presence in her room was her father. It was he who guided her to solve the gravity problem, leading humanity to temporarily relocate from the dying Earth to space, and later construct a massive arc ship named Ark to permanently depart the solar system. Murphy declares her lifelong dream fulfilled. However, it's now time for her father to rescue Amelia, who is completely alone in a foreign galaxy, awaiting him on the planet Edmund, the prospective new home for humanity. Driven by deep affection for his mission colleague, the hero commandeers a shuttle and, accompanied by his loyal electronic friend Robot TARS, sets course for her. And that's it. Subscribe, like, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.